Tom Brady done? Is he finished?
And Green Bay is not Green Bay right now.
You always wrong. Ooh.
Let's go back to Philly. A big trade just happened. Jimmy Butler.
And he's facing his former team, so you know it's gonna be some animosity.
And in the number one spot
For now.
Oh.
Seeing that field in Mexico City, it shows how stupid the NFL is. Now the East. I will look. Favorite team.
Her favorite team.
With this trade happening, does this mean the Sixers are the front runners, are the favorites?
So you're gonna stand up here and defend the player that just went 1 for 11, and then all of a sudden got sick.
Work day getting on my nerves, but you know I'm here. We talking about sports, man. So I ain't even thinking about work right now. I'm thinking about sports.
That's why your laptop dead.
That's why your laptop dead.
Bro, I be forgetting about that part.
It is the platform sports talk show. We are usually your Wednesday night sports light, but it's Monday night, and we here impromptu show. I'm your boy Smooth,
And I'm Stanton, baby. And I'm back.
Yes, he is on the ATL. Because when it's about sports,
It becomes our business, and business just picked up.
we're back.
Like just now. Knuckle punch!
How you be, man? How was ATL?
Man, ATL was great. Shout out to my little sister getting her master's
Ooh, that's what's up, man.
of arts. Masters. Oh, Lord. Masters of Arts
Get
in
it right.
Film and
She gonna be mad at
Television. It was a lot. I was like, when they read it, and the graduation went so fast. It was like, here's you. I was like, oh yeah, this is what happens when it's not a HBC.
But look, that's when you know that you got a big degree when you can't even say what it is. Master of, he's saying like 15 million things.
It's Masters of Arts in TV and Film. If you're in the Atlanta area, definitely hit her up for her production company, Royal Horizons. They do clean work. Like, man, and if you're in St. Louis and you want to shoot something in Atlanta, hit her up.
That's dope.
Clean work. Clean.
That is what it do. I recently did like a graduation party.
I saw that
Yeah, man, it was super dope, man.
out in the Woodcrest of Missouri.
Hey, great, hey, nice area. You talking about goals?
I was like, dang, that's a big old lawn. I was like,
Man, straight goals. The house is beautiful. Shouts out to the Sykes family for allowing me to do their son's event. Matter of fact, he's about to go to SEMO for engineering and producing. He wants to get into the music business in regards to producing music and everything.
That's what's up. Producing is where it's at, man.
Yeah. The cake that was made was like a Kai Beats machine. It was done by a old friend of mine, and Jonathan and Dante, Clarissa. You can follow her on Facebook. I think it's Clarissa, CHLARIS Cakes on Facebook. She would do any kind of cake that you need. Doesn't matter. She got you covered.
Man.
But yeah, so it was a great atmosphere. It was hot as that thing that day. Thank God I had the canopy over my head.
Gazebo.
Yeah, but it was all good. It was straight. But yeah, that was about it. In regards to celebrating everyone who's graduating right now. Congrats to all y'all.
It's definitely graduation season.
Yeah, it is.
I think it might be over now.
I don't know, man.
Going into June. I don't know a lot of people graduating in June unless like your school was pushed back due to snow days or something.
Well, you got one of them colleges that be, just have their own little.
Yeah, but we're just gonna have it over here.
Right. So that's
It's
it,
graduation season. It's wedding season. It's summertime.
Man. It's busy. But congrats once again to all of y'all. You already know the play. let everybody know right now. Share this video with the peoples so they can go ahead and do all that subscribing and all that.
Share it with everybody.
All the good stuff, y'all. Y'all know what it is.
Share it with your mama, your daddy, your grandma, your grandpa, your uncles, aunties, cousins, nieces, nephews. Share it with the person you with. Share it with your ex. Share it with your ex's friend. Share it with your ex's friend who you're trying to get with.
Hey, I listened to 101 ESPN last week, and they were having people call in regards to being mad about the Blues losing Game 1 of the series in the Stanley Cup final. And one of the callers called in was like, the goalie, he kind of reminds me of my ex-wife. You need to go ahead and get rid of him. And he said,
okay.
And he said because just like the goalie, my ex-wife's 5-hole was always a fellow. He said that on the air. Dude, I died laughing. He said just like the goalie, my ex-wife 5-hole was always open or something.
That is
on a Sports Talk radio show.
Woo.
I was like, no.
Somebody was angry.
I was like, no.
Somebody was angry. At least he ain't say no name. Did he say a name?
Nah.
Okay, cool. He probably couldn't do that. He's tied up in litigation and
right.
The divorce is the final. Can't say no names.
Right.
But she knew who she was.
She was like, ooh, that mother.
I'm gonna remember this
for the rest of
forever.
But feel free. You see options in regards to you can join us on the phone, or you can comment on the very bottom of the screen so we can interact with you throughout the show. We are doing this show tonight because myself and Sadal will not be here. Now, Stan could take over for the 9-9.
I'm about to say, I believe we came to a consensus that we don't want a STL version of the herd. Okay?
You be having that one voice. Yeah. And like, why you sound like you in a lake with some seabirds going behind you?
And what's crazy is there ain't no music on his show. It's just him talking.
Yeah.
Like nothing. Him talking. Take a break.
And
talk some more.
He used to be on First Take. Before
I'm glad he's not.
Yeah, he used to be on there. He used to do all the ESPN stuff. But then Fox snatched him up like they did Skip. And you see what they're doing now. But, hey, shouts out to him. And shouts out to Jacob. Oh, I forgot his last name already. What's his last name?
Oh, uh-oh.
Said it on Facebook.
You did?
Oh, Jacob Flynn. There we go.
There it is.
I got it. He's a dope car salesman from a GMT Auto Traverse off of 270 and West Florissant, 270 and Newhall's Ferry, right behind the Quick Trip, or you could say down the road.
I'm gonna help smooth out. It is GMT Auto Sales as a part of the Traverse.
Bam.
Auto Group.
There you go, something like that. But y'all know it's right behind Quick Trip.
It's right behind the Quick Trip at Newhall's Ferry at 270. Like when y'all doing that illegal thing. When y'all just come straight off the highway and shoot right into the parking lot, cutting off all the traffic. I should know because I do it sometimes.
Oh,
hey, the pretzels be fire. So
when
you're doing that, just right there. It's like right there.
Yeah, but shouts out.
Excellent selection of cars.
Yeah, he'll get you right. Shouts out to him. He is our 100th subscriber.
100.
So now we have to definitely show him love. He plans on being on the show very soon. So definitely get into that. Talk about some business.
That's what happens when you become our 100th subscriber. It could have been you, but you subscribed earlier. So shout out to you.
All right, thank you. So to everyone who has shown love.
And we already know who the 100th subscriber is. So don't go unsubscribe and then come back.
Right.
Don't do it because we know who it is. And then we going to know who did it. And then we're going to have to call you out.
You nothing but a liar. A cheater. But yeah, so shouts out to him. He wants to come on the show love, tell us about the promoting stuff and everything. So we
get y'all in on some car sales.
There you go.
Look,
hey, everyone is in the hustle business, man. Whether you like it or not.
If they got a Durango on the lot, I'm gonna have to go up there.
He has a lot of options. And if you don't have it at that location, he has it at other spots. They can just bring it into that certain one that you want to see it at. So he'll make it happen for you. So shouts out to you, Jacob Flynn. That's the homie right there.
We appreciate you.
There we go. All right. So, yeah, once again, this show's going on today and not Wednesday. So share this video right now. We need to get everyone tuned in. Talk about a lot of different topics in regards to the sports world. With that being said, the round table starts right now.
So AEW. I know you all probably talked about it last week, but I wasn't here. Dang it.
Actually, we didn't.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh yeah. So we got
Let's
time.
talk about it. AEW recently had their premiere, I guess pay-per-view.
Yes. Double or nothing.
Double or nothing. And
It.
shots fired. Shots fired.
Cody Rhodes, man.
And what's crazy is Cody Rhodes, he's not saying it arrogantly. He was like, hey man, I want the competition. I want the smoke. That's basically what he said. Talk about it. AEW. How? How? Twice in one show?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm about to actually get T-Bone on the line.
Cody wants to smoke. Dustin wants to smoke. John Moxley wants to smoke. When he showed up, I was like, oh, that's just disrespectful.
All right, we're calling T-Bone, y'all. This is a live show, so don't judge us. But we're getting T-Bone on the line right now.
Yeah, y'all hear dial tones. Y'all get to hear dial tones.
There you go. T-Bone, how you be, man?
Hey, what's up?
Yo.
Yeah. So we just getting into talking about AEW, Double or Nothing. We didn't talk about it last week, but we're doing it right now. Provide your thoughts. Stan, you want to say some more?
I will say that AEW, they put on a good show. They are going to provide some competition, but at the end of the day, WWE. Well, I don't know if they keep doing this stuff like that electric chair segment. I'm like, okay, see, now y'all making it hard for me to defend y'all, because that electric chair segment was entirely scripted. Because you could tell when dude forgot his question.
Yeah.
He was like, when do you what? It's like, they were dumb questions too. So yeah, it's gonna be good. It's interesting.
And then, T-Bone, please provide your thoughts when I ask this question. How do you feel about Triple H booking a UK NXT event on the same day as AEW's next pay-per-view?
You know what? With that, I don't necessarily want to jump to conclusions and say that they did that on purpose just because of that. Because, I mean, how do we know that they didn't already have that? They would have had to secure the venue at some point. I don't think they would have just done it over the past week, trying to get that specific date. So I don't want to jump to that conclusion. Sounds nice. Sounds like a good story. But, you know, I mean, and it's not like it goes head-to-head exactly. It's the same day. So, you know, it's almost like if you have a basketball game that's happening in the afternoon and the NFL game happening in the evening. You know, it's not like head-to-head. So,
okay. So basically, you're saying don't put too much into it.
I wouldn't put too much into that. I mean, there's been enough little back and forth stuff where I think if they wanted to, if they were going to do something and put it up against that, they wouldn't put the UK show. Because out of all the shows that they have, the UK show, besides 205 Live, the UK show is probably the most vulnerable to people saying, I'll just watch the AEW show because I can always watch the UK show.
So what does it say that they were really wanting to use the previous NXT TakeOver as a comeback to Double or Nothing, not one of their main shows like Raw and SmackDown?
Because I think NXT is probably the most comparable to it. You know, when it comes to the fans, and you may have a lot of fans that watch Raw and watch SmackDown, but the fans who actually like what they're watching the most, you would probably say that that's people who watch NXT, right?
Yeah.
So the fans who are watching AEW are more likely the fans who already watch NXT and are looking to see, well, what else do they have? So you want NXT to be presented as the alternative to Raw and SmackDown, which, to be fair to NXT, that's pretty much what they've been doing anyway. It's presenting themselves as the alternative to Raw and SmackDown.
So with AEW coming out later on this year with a weekly show, do you think that would be the push that will make NXT be a weekly show on a major network?
I would guess that all depends on how things go with Raw and or SmackDown. So like, if things keep going downhill with Raw, as far as from fan interest, ratings and stuff like that, the reactions that they're getting, there may come a point where USA says, hey, you have a lot of people on your network that are or Fox, but they may say, you have a lot of people on your network that are watching this show. Either A, let's try putting this out for a little bit of time. As a matter of fact, what would you all think about this? And this is just something that I just even thought of right now. What if Raw was on television from, let's say, November through April, right? And then after that, they put on a season of NXT in between to break it up instead of it being the same old Raw over and over. What would y'all think of something like that?
It would work given Raw's history. I don't think they'll elect to have Raw go off the air. I think they'll go the SmackDown route. But that plan itself, with replacing one of the shows with NXT, that would work.
Oh, and I don't mean replacing it for a full year. I mean,
oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Some type of break. But you know what? I said the Smooth a few weeks ago. My list of things that the WWE should do that they will not do
there's a list
to make things better.
Where's the list?
And the number one thing that I had on the list was to cancel Raw as a show. And it's not to mean like get rid of wrestling on Monday night. It's change the name because everybody associates Raw with whatever their highest point of fandom is. Whether it's you like the Attitude Era or for the people who like the John Cena era right afterwards, everybody has a favorite moment of Raw, and at this point, they're only comparing it to that point before. So just cancel Raw and change the name, change it to something different.
Yeah. Did you have of course, you probably had a chance to listen to the Chris Jericho podcast with, I'm just going to call him Jonathan Good because I'm going to call his government. Discussing all the things he went through with WWE,
John Moxley,
and basically saying what we all think.
Not only did I listen to the Jericho interview with Moxley, but I also listened to the Wade Keller interview from the Pro Wrestling Torch, where he talked to Moxley for an additional 2 hours as a follow-up to that. I mean,
Yep.
none of the stuff that he really said was a surprise. The only surprise is that you actually got to hear it from somebody.
Check your messenger. Yeah, so start off with the Jericho thing. He was pretty much saying how he didn't appreciate being part of the Roman Reigns leukemia segment and, saying certain things about that. How he didn't like after he gave his displeasure about not wanting to stay with WWE. How then weeks later or a show later, they had him trying to face off against Nia Jax and stuff like that. They just really being, really petty towards, at the time, Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, and like I said, none of that stuff was new. It's not like we didn't expect anybody to feel that way. What was more surprising is that we finally got to hear somebody who was from the inside because, even though New Japan is slowly creeping its way into the United States, and Ring of Honor's been around, and Impact is what it is. You don't really have a lot of top tier WWE wrestlers willingly leaving to go somewhere else and be something else. Usually, if you hear these complaints, it's usually from somebody who was, middle to lower on the card, where you can hear their grievances. But for the most part, when they air their grievances, the fans generally perceive, you lost a bunch of matches, you aren't you're not that good, so your criticisms don't matter. But when you have someone like Moxley, or the only other case that you can really point to is like CM Punk saying, a bunch of these similar things, that's when it's more alarming to people, but it's not shocking, you just watch it.
And then I can see why he was frustrated too, doing certain antics when he was supposed to be a heel. How he had a little gas mask on. He said he couldn't stand that. Like I said, going back to the whole Roman Reigns promo that McMahon told him to say that he didn't want to say. Even with the whole Brock Lesnar thing, he basically said that they had a good
He goes
build.
into more detail on that.
Yeah, how they had a good build going up to WrestleMania between him and Brock Lesnar, and Ambrose had his idea about something, but then Brock Lesnar at the last minute came up with his own idea and pitched it over to McMahon. McMahon said, "Okay, let's take Brock Lesnar's way," and that was it. So it's kind of like Brock Lesnar is always like that voice who can intimidate anybody and have his way.
You sure about
that? I don't necessarily look at it like that about intimidating. I think when it came to Brock, because again, from listening to the other interview, he even said he doesn't blame Brock because he said, some people are in the business to be artists, which would be more along the lines of like the CM Punk, Dean Ambrose, or John Moxley, like the Young Bucks, Cody, those type of people. And some people are in it because it pays you a lot of money. So if you're Brock, you're going to have an agenda. It's no different from any other job, though, right? You have some people who go to work and are passionate about the craft of how they do their job, and you have some people who I'm good at it, so I make money at it, but I don't really care about it, right? Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be up to either of them to make the decision about what happened. It should be about the supervisor or manager, right? So any of that, I still don't think is a referendum on Brock, more as, hey, this system is not working because the people who are in charge, they don't really care. They're just going with what they want or going with what one person says versus looking at the overall deal for everybody.
Yeah, I did kind of, when I read some of the articles, it did look like, Lesnar was just the one that was trying to help the situation, not trying to take over. So that could be true. But like I said, man, Dean Ambrose, he opened up a whole can of worms now, man. And do you see a lot of other wrestlers saying, you know what, I'm going to follow Moxley's lead?
I mean, it could happen, but it's a matter of timing and contract. So, you can have someone, I know you all mentioned like Sasha Banks and Luke Harper. Well, Luke Harper's going to be in the WWE for a while. Sasha Banks, based on her contract, she's going to be there for a while. So deal with what you got to deal with for now. And then, it's listening to Moxley, though, he pointed out, he's like, at one point he wanted to walk out, but he knew if he walked out, there'd be issues to deal with. One, he wouldn't get royalties on the stuff afterwards.
Right.
Two, they'll pretty much hold him up. Like, well, you want to walk out? Well, we're just going to hold that time until, we can hold it to you to the max. So do the smart thing, deal with what you got to deal with, and then once that contract is up, then go ahead and leave. Because, again, when he left, there's no non-compete clause. Now, by the way, the thing here is everybody who's under contract right now, this would be the opportunity for them, whatever years they have left,
to not
if
extend.
you sign a contract and your contract expires, well, then you don't have to deal with that. Now, I'm pretty sure that whatever new contracts they're going to be signing, they're going to be trying to lock that non-compete clause in there even when your contract expires.
Right.
So, these group of people who you see now, whoever's leaving, this would be their opportunity to leave, because even if they let their contract expire, they're still probably going to have to wait another 90 days to be able to get out.
So, true or false? The WWE is in a mess right now.
No, not yet. Because they've gone about the business, even though we can criticize a lot of the storytelling stuff. Mm-hmm. Storytelling, I mean, let's be honest, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things for the business side of things, because there's no investor who's looking at this like, well, I mean, I see that your P&L looks really well, but that storyline you had on Monday Night Raw was atrocious. Nobody's going to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So as long as they have the business side of things locked down, they're not going to have problems. Now, because even here's the thing: even if their ratings got so poor to the point where they were kicked off of USA and Fox, they have their own network on what what most people would consider to be the future of how television is going to be. Just a quick side note, all the stuff that's happening in television right now, I wrote a paper about when I was doing my master's in 2015 about how the television landscape was going to change. And I said one thing, and I said, if Disney decides to come up with their own service and finally pull their stuff off of these cable systems, cable's going to crumble. And now all of a sudden, you have ESPN Plus, you have the Disney Plus services coming out. Disney owns the majority of Hulu. Cable's not going to be around in 10 years.
And then think about what was that 2 years ago when ESPN had that big old layoff of all those journalists and sports personalities and everything because of everything that's going on right now with, like you said, the Hulus and the Netflix, and you had different streams going on.
And the Hulus.
Right, and all these different streams that's happening now. It's a game changer going on right now.
I will never forget. I purchased. It was an Amazon Fire Stick before the Fire Stick came out.
Yeah,
it was like a big cube thing, and I was like, man, I ain't never gonna use this. And then I sold it. I need it back. I was like, I ain't never gonna use this.
That thing.
Like, hey, remember that thing that I sold you?
Right there.
Let me go ahead and get that.
That's currently on your TV.
Yeah, right there. I know you're watching TV right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and unplug these wires.
Now, I know y'all want to talk about AEW, right? So I did want to bring up something, and I think I blame Stanton for this because I think that he's the one that sent me the request for that group on Facebook. Did you see any of the interactions over the weekend?
I did not. I was in Atlanta this weekend, so I didn't see any of them. Was it bad? It was bad.
Well, here's what happened. So Jim Cornette, who a lot of people, there's people who like and don't like, right? He did a review of Double or Nothing. Now, if you don't know the backstory, Jim Cornette is not particularly a fan of the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. Cody doesn't really have a problem with. But at the same time, he acknowledges, okay, well, there's a lot of interest for this, so I'm going to review the show. The premise of the review is of someone who has never watched Being the Elite. By the way, I recall bringing up Being the Elite on the show probably about 6-7 months ago. But he's coming up with the premise of, someone who's never seen any of the stuff and doesn't know anything about any of the people on there, right? So it's about what are they presenting and promoting on their show. So the pre-show, which the pre-show is available to, pretty much everyone. It's available it was on YouTube. I think there may have been issues with it, but it was on YouTube. Like the countdown service on like the actual pay-per-view outlets, stuff like that. Well, the match that they had on there that caused a huge debate was they had a battle royal, which basically it's almost like a version of the Royal Rumble, except the rules were a little bit different. I don't know if you all saw that, but basically it dealt with like suits of cards. You had 4 people, or I think it was 4 or 5 or whatever that started. Then the next suit would come out. Then the next suit would come out. Then the next one would come out, and then there'd be like the Joker as a wild card, basically. So, I don't know if you know about the AEW roster, but they're kind of trying to be like a all-inclusive roster.
Yeah.
And there could be some problems with that. If that's what they decide to do long term, because Anyway, there's a wrestler that they have on there named Sonny Kiss. Are you familiar with this?
Mm-hmm. My friend posted about it.
Okay, so Sonny Kiss is he's open, right? And he comes out and he's a part of the Battle Royal. Now here's the thing. They don't give context to who he is, what he is, anything like that. They don't tell you anything about him. And they just say, oh, it's Sonny Kiss. Well, again, when I say open, PG show, he's openly gay, right? And by the way, he comes out like dressed like how a lot of the divas would dress, or women would dress. And he has the makeup and everything on. Now, again, if you don't have context for this, and you just know, well, indie shows are typically comedy, you may think that this is just somebody who's just dressed up that way because they're in Vegas. And that's what Jim Cornette said. He basically said something like, it looks like he got off his day job at the Tropicana as a showgirl or something like that, right?
Oh, dear God.
Now, here's the thing. There were people who were getting upset because he said that, because these are also people who just automatically just don't like Jim Cornette because they don't think he shares the same views of wrestling, of how they do as far as what they consider to be modern wrestling. But the thing is that when I asked people, I said, well, the problem is that they didn't provide context to the characters. And I had people arguing with me up and down saying, well, it was the pre-show. It was just the Battle Royal. They didn't need to give context. Here's the problem. The pre-show Battle Royal, the winner gets to be in the first AEW World title match. If you're not telling anything about those competitors, then what does that say about your world title? You know what I mean? Like, what sport would you it's one thing, like, if you're in, like, the regular season of baseball or basketball, you have games and you kind of put up stuff, graphics about the players and all that type of stuff. But when you get into, like, the playoffs and when you get into, like, the championship game, do they not make sure that you know just about every single key player that's in that game?
True.
So that was the point that I tried to make, but it was just funny that when you talk to people who are just, they love the product, and I can understand that, but they think everybody's supposed to be in the bubble. So they're like, well, they've been talking about these guys on being the elite for weeks. And it's like, well, everybody doesn't watch that. The pre-show is a commercial. The pre-show is basically your opportunity to sell this pay-per-view, the $50 pay-per-view, to people who are accustomed to now paying $9.99 a month for their shows. This is your opportunity to sell them on why they should watch your pay-per-view. So everything you do in that pre-show counts. So I had to get that off my chest.
Hey, I feel you, man. I feel you. Real quick, shouts out to Roxy Jones. She just commented on our page, of course, right here on YouTube. She says, "Hey guys." Then she says, after I told her good to see her, comment on our show, she says, "My pleasure." She asks us, "Did you see the heavyweight fight for all 4 title belts this past weekend? It was mad crazy."
Oh, boy.
Yo.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
we gonna get into that.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
everything went wrong in that fight.
So real quick, Roman Reigns right now is on Raw. What's the point of having him on SmackDown if he's gonna be on Raw?
They're still doing this.
the wild card staying there, but it's like, what's the point of him doing this?
I feel like after Super Showdown, he's not gonna be there anymore.
I don't really blame. Again, I don't even blame WWE for that one. I feel like that one came from USA, along with that 24-hour title.
Because
I think the USA is like, hey man, these ratings,
yeah,
they're not where they need to be.
They suffering.
Y'all just gonna take Roman away? That's pretty much how they find out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I am loving this Brock party thing, but then it feeds right into what John Moxley said. Right into it. It's like this dude was just the beast incarnate a month ago.
Right.
Now it's Brock party?
Brock party.
Beast in the bank?
But
he talks now?
And by the way, because it wasn't last week, I think it was the week before, where y'all were upset that he brought back Brock Lesnar. I need an explanation as to why.
That was Stan, I think.
I mean, okay. I really don't know why I was upset, because that's just the thing that happens. You take the title off the guy who barely shows up and you give him a break. Hold up.
You keep saying about the guy that doesn't show up. Why are you saying that?
T-Bone, you are not going to sit here and say, so are you saying that Brock Lesnar does show up? This is the most we've seen him in years on a consecutive basis.
Bro, if you were working somewhere and somebody else signed up to be a part-time person, and that's what they paid that person to be, was a part-time person, why would you get upset with the person who's getting paid to be there part-time for showing up part-time?
My issue with that is because if you're going to make him part-time, don't put a championship on him that is expected to be defended all the time. You remember
Why?
back when you would get a championship, it was expected to be defended at every pay-per-view. There would be pay-per-views where there would be no Lesnar match. It would be the who is it, WWE champion, whoever that is, that would be your title match for the pay-per-view, or I don't even know if we can call it a pay-per-view anymore. The big show, I guess.
Couple things. They got you because you were buying completely into a storyline from 2 years ago. Because, again, here's the deal. If they wanted Brock to be there more, they would pay Brock to be there. That's the bottom line. Like, if they wanted him there, he'd be there. If they wanted him to wrestle on Raw, they would pay him to wrestle on Raw. The thing is, if you go back to, let's go back to the WCW days, when they were at their hottest. When WCW was at its hottest peak, Hulk Hogan did not defend the WCW title on every pay-per-view, nor was he at every pay-per-view, nor was he at every Nitro.
And that's
the
pretty...
whole build up to Sting. I can go pay-per-view over pay-per-view. He from 1996 at Starrcade, he faced Piper. He faced the Giant at Sold Out. He faced Piper at Starrcade. He came in at the end of a match at Uncensored. At Spring Stampede, he did not wrestle. At Slamboree, he did not wrestle. At the Great American Bash, he did not wrestle. At Bash at the Beach, he came out and teamed with Dennis Rodman. At Hog Wild, he was in the match. He did not wrestle at Fall Brawl. He did wrestle a match at Halloween Havoc. He did not wrestle a match in World War III. And then he faced Sting at Starrcade. That's about the schedule that Brock was on in 2017 when they started the whole storyline of he's not there.
And think about it. How many times do you see Seth Rollins always saying, people want a champion who's here every show? Or you hear the same thing from Roman Reigns. They want a champion who's here every show. I'm here every day. 365 a year. Da-da-da-da. You see so many top guys who are faces saying that same lingo.
And by the way, again, if this were a legit sport, how often do you see the UFC heavyweight title defended? How often do you see any of the boxing championships defended?
Well.
So, pretty much in a nutshell, in regards to the WWE, know what they're doing in regards to selling this thing with Brock Lesnar.
And also, they'll get you with that when it comes to they've done that with other storylines too.
Right.
They tried to do that to The Rock. It did not work.
Right.
When John Cena kept pointing out, well, you're not here. You're not here.
Sure did.
But people like The Rock. Triple H tried to do that with Batista. Well, you just walked out. You just quit. But it's like, is that really the case? That's just storyline. It's all storyline.
And then also think about how they were trying to make Becky Lynch be a heel. That did not work either. The fans love Becky even more.
But y'all, I don't understand why
I believe it worked. Because a lot of people, they cheer because they're like, yes, Becky's a heel. Becky's not doing this crazy Irish last kicker thing.
No, it didn't work because they wanted her booed and not cheered.
Right.
Well, in the end, it worked because money. But,
But she getting cheered. She's not getting booed.
I mean, in the end, it worked out for them monetarily because the shirts and Becky 2 belts.
After they decide to give in.
Right. Same thing with the Kofi
but
Kingston
you know what?
thing.
But you know what's funny is fans sometimes, as Daniel Bryan would say, are fickle. Because I've heard people after Becky Lynch won the belt at WrestleMania, they're like, there's just something that's just missing. And it's like, this is why when baby faces win, the WWE, if it's not the baby faces they wanted to win, will be like, see, we told you. Because, again, the ratings aren't exactly improving because she's on top. Same thing with Kofi because they both had belts at the same time. But it's like, oh, well, they never give this person a shot. They never give this person a shot. Then when they give them a shot, it's like, something's missing.
So, with that being said, who will have the longest title reign? Jinder Mahal or Becky Lynch?
Well, they're gonna take the belt off of Becky at some point, just because they're gonna have to, unless they, I don't know. I mean,
because if you think about it, Jinder Mahal had it for a nice long time.
Yeah, I mean it was about 6 or 7 months.
And she had it for just 2 months now?
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine that usually SummerSlam is where a big title change happens. But they could be building up to her getting her 2 belts back again. I don't know, against Bayley or I don't know. A year or now, however long WrestleMania is, that's a long time away from now to see what they're planning on doing for next year.
Real quick, Roxy Jones, she's enjoying this conversation. She like T-Bone going ham. So shout out once again to Roxy. She was on one of our incredible shows that we had back at Smoke Session. Matter of fact, we will be back at Smoke Session June the 19th. Yeah. Super show. I already have 4 guests on the show already. Yeah. Already. So more details coming. Roxy, I hope everything's going well with you and your business. We still have to collab us joining what you're doing with the whole oil and lotion stuff, everything. Definitely got to make that happen with you as well. Let's talk about switching from wrestling to what happened this past Saturday night.
Wait. I got one question for T-Bone.
Sorry about that.
T-Bone,
yes.
Smooth sent me the list that you comprise. I'm going to call it the list of funk. I definitely agree with number 4. The stage concepts were one of the. It wasn't the major thing I look forward to with the pay-per-view, but it was something that I was like, okay, let's see what they're going to do this year. Even though with some pay-per-views like SummerSlam, the stage stayed the same, but it was still different from the weekly stage, you know? So I definitely agree with that.
I just think they should get away from the stages on the weekly shows. Make more of an emphasis on what's happening instead of the overall aesthetic look. And then make the thing is, you have to make stuff count. And again, this is one of those things where, okay, it's Monday Night Raw. I'm going to tune into Monday Night Raw. And after 20 years or however long it's been, 25, 27 years, or 20, however many years it's been, after a certain point, it's like, oh, I got to tune into Monday Night Raw as opposed to tuning into something else. When you see these concepts of shows, you'll see a show be on the air for X amount of years, and then it'll come off. But then you'll see another show that basically is the same thing, but it's not the same exact thing. And people can deal with that. So, just the history of it, in 93, Primetime Wrestling was on that Monday night slot. And it had been there since, I believe, 85. So from 85 to 93 was Primetime Wrestling. And when things started to become stale, they said, all right, let's freshen it up, let's change it, let's come up with a different concept, and that's how Monday Night Raw came. And even with that, Raw itself was as it was from 93 to 97, and then they changed the concept and said, all right, let's make it the arena bigger, let's change the name to Raw is War and the War Zone. So I just think that they just need to revision or reimagine. Is that it? Reimagine, what Monday Night Wrestling should look like.
I think once AEW comes out with their first show and they start bringing all these analytics and stats and one loss record total and everything, that's gonna definitely spark some ideas with WWE.
If you remember, SmackDown Live tried to do that. They used to have the side column. Well, they brought it back from way back in the 90s and the early 2000s.
Yeah.
With the side column of information. They were talking about what was going on at that time. and then they got rid of it.
But you know what? With AEW though, and again, I like a lot of the stuff that they do, but the number one thing that AEW needs to do is establish a baseline of what is normal, and make that baseline stay relatively close to the baseline for a while. Because that's another thing. Wrestling fans at this stage I hate to say it, we're spoiled, right?
Right.
There used to be the time in the 80s where if you were tuning into your weekly wrestling show, you would see a bunch of enhancement matches and promos. And you might be lucky if you got a main event that featured 2 mid-card guys. You know, you wouldn't see Hulk Hogan wrestle on Superstars. You wouldn't really see Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes on WCW wrestle. But, you know, now that it's, well, all these main roster guys are facing these main roster guys, people become spoiled, and it becomes a thing where they don't care anymore. So make people care. Establish a baseline. That's what those enhancement matches were for.
Right. Roxy says nice in regards to having our show back at Spoke Session. She said, "Dang, no room for me. If you want to come on the show, just come on. We got you covered." And I want to make sure I get her product correct. It is the Aloe Veritas. So for anyone who's having aches and pains, back problems like myself, other issues, you put on a product, get you right. Just ask the doll. He said he felt like $1 million after he put that product on. That's the Aloe Veritas. So definitely
Probably work for ex-wrestlers.
there you go. See, Roxy, send a sample pack over to T-Bone in Orlando. Send him an invoice later on. Yeah, so once again, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show. We are usually your Wednesday night Sports Delight, but Monday night, we competing with Monday Night Raw, y'all.
It's Monday Night Mania.
Right.
I don't know. That didn't work out well for TNA.
It did not.
They tried and they
They
failed.
did it for like, what, a good 4 weeks? And it was like, well, we lost.
All right. So
By
now,
the way, going back to that, they would have been better off competing against SmackDown at the time. Go ahead.
yeah,
Don't mind me.
that's true. So
Y'all,
now,
I got something
let's
to
go
say,
ahead and
I feel bad about it.
What?
I feel like WWE would be better. And I feel like John Moxley said it, and I echo the sentiments. If Vince is gone, I feel like once Vince is gone,
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a whole different
everything's
thing.
gonna be a whole lot better.
Yeah. But you know,
So why y'all
Vince
wishing
is
for a man to
stubborn.
die?
We're not
We ain't
wishing.
saying- we ain't
we're
saying
not
die.
saying, "Oh my God, I wish he would." We're
Well,
just
that's
saying
the only way what y'all asking to happen. is
I
gonna
know.
happen when
I know.
he dies.
I know.
that's not true.
Fuck y'all.
That's not true. They could declare him mentally unstable
Man,
and put him in a
he
home.
is too stubborn to say, you know what, Triple H here.
Linda could put him in a home. We don't know.
But again, when you're talking about storylines, okay, well, he's not writing storylines that correlate to what
Take
the
away his
people who
journey.
are in their 20s and 30s like. Well, let's find a way to get him out of there. Let's just declare him mentally unstable. Sure, he can tie his shoes and get up and walk around and do whatever he needs to do, but we don't want him on our TV anymore, so we just going to declare him mentally unstable. How's that? Come on, man.
Or they could just take away his cell phone. He can't call an Uber. He can't call a car. He can't call nothing. Just sit at home.
And T-Bone, Roxy did respond back and says, it does work for wrestlers. She said, get at me.
Oh, well, there it is.
We making things happen for our people, y'all. That's how we roll right here on the Platform Sports Talk Show. But switching over to boxing, because she brought this up, and I was going to bring it up anyway, but she brought it up first. Thoughts on that fight?
That
Anthony
boy.
Joshua versus Andy Ruiz Jr. Who would have thought it?
What did Stephen A. Smith? He got rocked by Butterbean.
Right. What a fight. I believe it ended in the fifth round.
Yep, with a 5th round TKO.
Yeah.
And everybody is looking like,
I was so stunned.
why didn't Deontay Wilder get that fight?
Yeah.
Which I feel like he should have.
Yeah. You know, there was one person was saying that Deontay was running away, other person saying Andy Joshua. I think we all figured out that it was Joshua who ran away.
Yeah.
Because he got lit up like going to a club. Just got lit. And it was all bad. He got stunned a few times. I think he fell down like maybe
right now.
I think he fell down like maybe 5-6 times.
It
throughout
was
the whole
so
match.
crazy. I'm like,
And it came out of nowhere.
what are you doing?
Yeah, someone.
You see, you know where he messed up
Right.
because the press conference right before he let him hold the titles. It was like, oh, why you do that?
Now I believe that
And he took the picture with Drake.
I
So
believe that this was like a last second match, so they only had like a few months or weeks to get this thing together. Did that play a factor, you think, in regards to him losing like he did? Because usually you would think it would be the other way around. Maybe. But,
I was just about to say that. If it's in the fact where it was just thrown together
Yeah.
and you got old dude looking like he was looking,
yeah.
oh no, Joshua was supposed to come out of that.
Yeah.
By the way, you disgraced the name, okay? Because never. I'm like, oh my goodness, that did not just happen. I watched the fight. I was like, well, I'm glad I didn't pay for this.
Hey, Roxy said, and he, meaning Andy Ruiz Jr., said that he got $30 million off that fight, all 4 belts plus an automatic $30 million automatic for the next fight. She said it's not bad for sitting broke on your front porch trying to figure out how you're gonna get it. That's crazy.
It's
You
like all
know
these
you lost
sports
when you
got
crawling on all fours.
You said what?
I said, you know you lost when you crawling on all fours. I just watched the man get hit. He's just crawling along the side of the ropes. Like, where am I? What's going on here? What happened?
Mama.
Right. It was all bad, man. Like I said, I forgot that the fight was on. I said, oh, let me put it on real quick. And I'm watching.
And it was over.
And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. What's going on here? Hold
Get him,
up.
Craig. Get him, Craig.
I'm a mama chain. But that's how bad it was, man. He just got up. Now, I have to give credit because you have certain boxers like Adrian Broner or whoever else.
I did it for the hood.
You know, that or, he ain't got the best of me. No. Anthony Joshua, he was humble. He showed love to Ruiz. Like, hey, congrats to you. You were the better man. That's what heavyweight boxing is about right now. It's changing the whole culture of things.
When you get right like that, you can't be cocky.
Right now.
Especially by somebody like him. Yeah. Oh, no, you got to take that to the chin. Yeah. Literally.
Right.
And just be like, all right, I'll be back.
Yeah. And, they say that he has a weak chin, and they obviously wasn't lying.
Clearly.
Obviously was not lying, but they always talking about doing a rematch, so it's going to happen very soon.
Can we get the Joshua versus Wilder fight now? Ain't there's no reason.
See, the appeal is gone now because Joshua lost. The whole plan was to have both those guys fight as they were both undefeated. Now that chance of having Wilder versus Joshua, that may not happen now.
It might. Remember, we got Mayweather versus Pacquiao.
Yeah, but
and I don't think a lot of people wanted that, and then we were really disappointed in the outcome. I was disappointed in the fight. I'm glad I didn't pay for it. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, but hey, that's what heavyweight boxing is all about right now. Bringing them thrills. And speaking of which, Deontay Wilder won this past 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he did, because he was like, I can kill a man if I wanted to.
That one hit a quitter.
I was like, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that on TV.
Roxy says totally out of shape, but hey, in regards to Andy, hey, he went out of shape to land them punches. That's all that mattered.
Just give him some more time to train. He'll be all right.
Yeah. So,
because he literally did look like he came right off his front porch.
Right.
Like, what was that movie with the dude from King of Queens?
Oh, Kevin Spacey. No, not Spacey, but Kevin something.
Kevin James.
Kevin James. He did that MMA movie.
Yeah.
Had no prior fight training. Won the whole thing. That's what it looked like.
Update. Going to our next segment, we got the Blues. The Blues just scored a goal against Boston, and they up 1-0. And that was within 43 seconds of the game starting as well. So the Blues are up 1-0.
See, now usually,
you're saying
usually, but look, whatever we got to do, because we down 2-1.
A goal by Ryan O'Reilly.
Ooh,
right behind.
That was a clean shot.
The goal post, and bam. Snuck it right on in. A wraparound. Great goal.
Gonna retch around there.
Right. Retch around, get that goal, Ryan O'Reilly. So once again, Blues are up 1-0, only within 43 seconds of the game starting. So that's a good start for the Blues.
They're coming out aggressive. I love it.
Better than the other day.
Oh, Lord. When I looked, I'm like 7-2.
Right.
Oh, no.
And that right there was we got the Blues. Right
there we go.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and keep T-Bone on the line, if you don't mind, T-Bone. You cool with that? Or
Well,
you gotta
I
go?
was just about to say, Mrs. Funk is telling me the dinner's ready. So
All right.
just his progress update. We got less than 4 weeks away.
There we go. So congrats to you, the wifey, and we hope that you have. If we don't speak to you before then, we hope that you both have a wonderful, wonderful baby, out healthy and strong and ready to wrestle.
Do you all know if it's a boy or a girl yet? Are you waiting?
It's definitely gonna be a boy.
He said definitely going to be. So shouts out to everyone watching the show right now on a Monday. We appreciate it. And much love to T-Bone for showing love via phone. Holla at us, boy. Holla at us. All
right, y'all.
man.
All right, T-Bone.
Yep.
All right. That was Funk. What's the statement called? Anytime.
What the funk?
There we go. What the funk? Right
Oh,
there.
that was funk. What?
Right, that was fun. I knew it was something, but yeah, great conversation. There we go. Roxy says, bye, T-Bone, bye. She said, yes, go Blues. So your thoughts in regards to just real quick, overall with the Blues?
That was Bennington's worst game ever.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think he's ever got scored on like that.
Nah.
That boy got demolished.
First time ever getting lifted doing a game. But hey, sometimes defeat.
That boy got lit like a Christmas tree, and we ain't even in December.
But sometimes defeat has to happen so you can say, you know what? Let me go ahead and get my game back up and focus on the next game.
Oh! They scuffling out there. Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
this is the hockey they used to show on TV, but they used to fight all the time. I love it.
Right. So once again, Blues up 1-0. Cardinals, Bird Talk.
Get the brooms.
Yes.
Get the brooms.
Yes. So this past weekend, Cubs came into town, and then the series was pretty boring. It was so boring.
It was really boring.
Cubs got swept.
So boring.
A magnificent game yesterday by old man, 85-year-old Adam Wainwright. 8 innings, 120-something pitches, and came through, only giving up 2 hits. He did give up 7 walks, but 2 hits.
We ain't gonna talk about that right now.
Right. Just forget about that. The Cardinals gave the Cubs a dose of what they received when they went to Chicago.
Yeah, I'm liking it. And even though we not in first, they not in first either. And that was beautiful.
That's what's so amazing is that even though we had one of our worst months of ever in regards to in May,
still knocked y'all out.
Right.
Still.
We are only 3 games out from first place after everything that we went through in May.
Just 3.
Just 3.
Just 3.
Milwaukee has the top spot. Cubs right behind them. We are 1.5 games behind the Cubs. Is that correct? 1.5. Let me make sure. Check my.
No, we're 2 games behind the Cubs.
Okay. 2 games behind the Cubs. They may have played today. Let's see.
Did they? The Cubs
National
did they play today?
We'll go ahead and do a refresh. Google machine, what you got for me?
Yeah, it looks like the Cubs played today.
Yeah, here we go. So
beat the brakes off the Angels.
2 games behind the Cubs. And the Angels come in town, I believe, next month. So gotta go ahead and secure them tickets.
They beat the brakes off the Angels, boy.
That's what's well no, that's not what's up right now. We need them to keep on losing.
Right?
Yeah. So
who they got? Oh, they had a 1-gamer against the Angels? What?
It can't be a 1 game. Oh, unless it was a makeup game from a previous
it might have been because they had a 1-gamer and then they've got the Rockies coming in town.
Yeah, so
and then they play us again
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday
at the end of the week. Let's do it again.
Yes. So a whole lot. There's a shift in the NL Central atmosphere going on right now.
Oh wow! But it's between us and the Rockies for the next 2 weeks. They somebody gonna catch them slipping.
Yeah. So
and it's gonna be us.
I believe that has to be like our positive from the Cardinals, man.
We're 4-0 right now.
Yep, 4 in a row. Had a bad ending in May, but good start so far
in
June.
Ending in May.
Right. Not Fowler, but Ozuna. He's been showing that he's one of the best RBI hitters in the game right now. Paul Goldschmidt, he got moved from the 2nd spot to the 3rd spot to produce now. So
Colton Wong was leadoff, right?
For 1 game.
So it's back to Carp.
Yeah, back to Carp. So Cardinals, let's go. All right, NBA time, man.
Hey man. The Lakers might not even need Anthony Davis to make some noise.
Where you say that?
You been hearing these reports?
What?
Chris Paul might be up for trade.
But do you think it's really worth getting Chris Paul? At the stage that he's at right now, like if it was 3-4 years ago, I'd be like, cool. But right now, do you think he would be one of the pieces, the one to reach
I think
LA
so
with
because you
turnover?
remember Chris Paul and LeBron said they wanted to play together. Chris Paul might be the next one retiring out of that class. Wait, they all came in the same class, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Chris Paul might be the next one to go.
yeah.
Unless Carmelo announces it over the offseason.
He may get forced to.
Yeah, they might force him out.
Yeah, I ain't
But-
gonna sign, so I'm gonna join the big three.
I feel like Swan Song wise, Chris Paul is up next. That'll be good to have that veteran presence at a second veteran presence at point guard. We gonna see how that works.
Yeah.
Because Chris Paul and a certain point guard on the team don't like each other. So we gonna see if Chris Paul and Rondo can get it together for the sake of winning.
If Rondo comes back.
And then that's that. And then they were also saying Bradley Beal would be a good fit for the Lakers.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
Yeah, because LeBron has to have shooters around him.
Mm-hmm.
He has to because he sets them guys up so easily.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how many times last year did you see, and I know you're talking about the Lakers, not the finals, so we'll get back to that in a minute, people. But how many times did you see LeBron set up a shooter and boing, clang,
I'm like, LeBron was doing beautiful passes.
and wasn't getting no reward
I'm
for
like,
it?
oh, no. That's not how that's supposed to happen.
Right. So, Lakers know, man, or they should know, that you got to have some more shooters around him. You got
Yeah.
to.
And then another thing, if that happens, Chris Paul might be coming off the bench. Because the reports are circulating that a certain Boston point guard has been in talks with Kobe Bryant
I brought that up last week.
about coming to L.A. If Kyrie come to L.A.,
Forget Chris Paul.
well, I'd still bring in Chris Paul. It would be like the
it ain't
Kemba
gonna
Walker.
happen.
It would
Ain't
be
gonna
like the
happen.
Kemba Walker, Tony Parker thing.
Chris Paul has too much pride. He's gonna be like, no, I'll just stay with Houston
At this point, Chris Paul got to put his pride to the side.
and be a bench player, huh?
Because if you keep playing with Harden, you not winning no ring, bro.
That's true.
You not winning a
is
ring.
true.
What you want? Pride of the ring. I want the ring.
Chris Paul and D'Antoni. It ain't gonna happen. D'Antoni has to go.
Oh, D'Antoni said, he's not signing no extension. So next season will be the last of his 4-year thing, and then he gone.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on them trying to acquire Ty Lue for assistant coach? They the Rockets.
Ty Lue needs to thank LeBron for the rest of his life. Because that boy was chilling at his 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in the middle of some suburb, not doing nothing. Then he got the call to be the coach of LeBron James and the Cavaliers. Mm-hmm. Oh, no. And you've been getting coaching. Well, you had one coaching job since then. But, I feel like I don't feel like that's going to change anything. Honestly, when they were talking about trading players, and they're like, well, clearly Harden's not up for trade. It was like, well, yeah. But still, it's like, y'all got to do something about. Did we score again?
No. They showing the replay.
What was that?
They showing the replay of an old game.
Like, something has to be done.
Yeah. So now going to the NBA Finals.
I'm calling it 7 games.
Are you not entertained?
I'm calling 7 games.
Hey, I said that last week.
I know the other day I told you 5.
We showed that you was confident. Gentleman sweep.
I'm calling 7 games for the hometown win.
Toronto, you don't say, huh?
Man, because look, even though Golden State did that third quarter show out,
Yeah.
they still only won by 5. These have been
And
close games.
It was a lucky Iggy shot.
I wouldn't even say lucky.
No, it was luck.
I wouldn't say lucky. Wasn't nobody defending him. Dude was wide open.
He was.
Did you see
but
wide open?
How many times was he wide open prior in the game?
But you got to think about it. Those are pull-ups. Like, wide open, get the ball, do it. He got the ball, waited a minute. He was like, anybody on me? All right, bet. I'm going to show y'all why I got the MVP back in 2015.
Yeah.
And he drained it.
What's your thoughts on? What?
Spicy P?
No.
Ah.
No. Steph Curry. I had to ask you this question because you told me that you feel he's better than KD. He means more to Golden State than KD does. But he tends to kind of, I almost had to go. He tends to kind of, he had a good start. But he kind of fades away a little bit.
What it
in the
is,
third, fourth quarter.
is Steph is good in the
Spurts.
playoffs,
But not the final.
but not the finals. We've seen that. That's why KD shows up, because Steph doesn't.
He's like, hey, I got this now. I got it.
There it is. I've watched it and I realize it now. KD is able to get the MVPs. Everybody's able to get the MVP because Steph in the finals, he's just like he's out of these he's out of these amazing shots. Even though he hits like he had 25 or 23. He had 23 or 25 yesterday. And some of the shots I look at, people are like, oh, that ain't going in. Be like, watch.
Nothing but net.
Just yeah.
And now,
and then he got called with that tech.
Right.
Oh, I was watching the game. What Mark Jackson say? He was like, a player threw the ball up, and the ref told him,
right,
if it comes down, you give it to him. And then he was like, does he not understand the laws of gravity? I was sitting there laughing
Jeff
so
Van
hard.
Gundy be having me rolling, man. Shouts out to the ABC, ESPN crew. But Klay Thompson,
everybody except Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce needs to
he's
let
terrible.
it go.
No more predictions.
Paul Pierce is the Jason Witten of NBA.
It's two things you don't want. That's a Paul Pierce prediction for your team and Drake to support your team either.
I don't know. I feel like it only works with home teams because he's been supporting these Raptors all the way. I feel like it only works with his home team. He can't support nobody else.
Okay.
You see, he wore them Bucks shorts, and then and you see, he was wearing Anthony Joshua. So it's like, you got to support your own.
Right.
Just leave it at that.
Right.
So it works out that way.
We shall see. We shall see. But going back, Klay Thompson, he could be day to day. We don't know yet. I haven't heard any update in regards to his injury status.
This is big.
Huge.
I was talking with my church musician. Shout out to Al. He was saying that he was saying when the Warriors win. I was like, stop. That Klay was gonna be MVP. Klay is down now, and it's all on Steph if Klay don't come back.
And still no word about KD yet.
I don't. KD.
No.
Y'all not. We not gonna see KD.
Now Boogie is looking good though.
Yeah, he looked good.
He looked good in game 2.
He looked better than he did in game 1.
Right. So he's only get better and better. He's starting. And this was my issue, and we talked about this last week as well in regards to big game and Sadal. But in a previous series, Golden State never had to face a supreme center, a big time center who can bring it. And now you have Marc Gasol. But
I wouldn't even say that. Golden State has never had to face a team that has all light.
That too.
Like
so many parts.
You don't have to. Kawhi is the least of their problems right now.
You can't focus on just one guy and say we stop him. That's it.
I'm telling you right now, if Toronto wins, Pascal Siakam is MVP.
Well, I don't know.
That boy balling.
Last night he didn't have a great game.
Well,
game 1 he had like
Draymond figured it out.
Points.
32 points on 14 of 17 shooting.
Yeah, but game 2, what happened? The adjustments happened. So now let's see what happens.
So now we all got to make
adjustments.
Game to game.
Yeah,
this is why this is interesting.
Yeah,
I'm like,
but it should, like you said before, it says a lot that even after the run Golden State had third quarter, you
5 point game.
You only lost by a crazy lucky. Well, I know you didn't say luck.
It wasn't luck. That was a lack of defense. You lost on lack of defense.
Right at the end.
Because if you would have blocked that shot, and got another 3, that would have been game.
You were still in the game. So Toronto has a great chance, but let's see what happens with Klay. Let's see what happens with KD. It looks like Boogie. He's doing good.
I just want to call upon something. We are all idiots. Why are we so surprised that Toronto is doing this well?
Because
Toronto has always had a good team
all year long.
We just couldn't. They just couldn't get past LeBron. They've always had a good team. All it took was 2 people. All it took was
coach change.
All it took was because if LeBron would have went to the West last year,
Dwayne Casey,
he won Coach of the Year last year. They had the number 1 seed last year, killing it.
But no, you think about it, though. Toronto did make a lot of moves before and during the season. They made a trade for Gasol.
Mm-hmm. But even
Siakam
before,
wasn't as good as he is now. They have more pieces alongside of Kawhi and Kyle Lowry too.
Everybody that's on that team now, with the exception of Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, and Marc Gasol, they been there.
Mm-hmm.
Fred VanVleet, been there.
Mm-hmm.
It just took a different player to come in for everybody to be like, wow, these cats are good.
Oh.
No, they been good. I hated playing against Toronto on 2K. I hated it.
And don't forget about Danny Green too.
And Danny Green,
His presence. So bringing that
Green
championship,
Ranger.
bringing that championship pedigree from San Antonio.
Yeah, because they already got a ring, so they know what to do.
Yeah, and it's like everybody can just follow their lead, and boom, you got this.
I was so hype in my hotel room with that game, because when Danny Green had that open 3, I was like, there it is, that's money. I was like, there it is, let's go. And then I was just hype. And then
The next possession,
Iggy, I'm like, what are y'all doing?
and Kawhi was so close to getting that steal too, man.
Man, because that's what I was like, come on. Oh my God.
Everything was so perfect, but it ended.
Like, if
he
he would have got the steal, all they would have had to do was go for a 2, and then it would have been overtime.
Yeah.
But them hands, which is why you realize he's on the Raptors, that man has Velociraptor hands.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
That man middle finger long in the mug, just ah.
But yeah, a lot of people just push the Raptors to the side like, oh, they ain't nothing. You know what the problem was? People saw that game, game 6 against Milwaukee, and how low of a score that was, and said, oh, well, how can they keep up with Golden State? But it's all about the matchups.
Plus, that was pure defense.
Right.
That was a defensive game. If y'all can't talk about that and not remember Game 7 of 2016.
Yeah.
That was a low scoring game because the defense was on.
Right. Yep.
I don't know who finna win this
And
thing,
then plus
man.
Milwaukee is not Golden State.
Yeah.
So you can't compare it. Well, because they only won by, or they only scored some 80, 90 points.
I like how everybody was like, Warriors in 4.
Right. Or in 2. But now,
Warriors in 3.
from the moment that Toronto won against Milwaukee, I said this is going to be a great NBA final because it's going to be something different that the Warriors have not seen before.
Boy, Kawhi popped out for Game 1 with that fresh set of braids.
Right.
Fresh
right.
out the chair.
Right.
I'm
Fresh,
like,
fresh line and everything. He was
fresh.
ready.
Man.
Fresh everything. Matter of fact, he's suing Nike. He just sued them today. Let me pull this up real quick. Apparently, let's see here. Leonard says that he helped design his claw logo and that Nike filed for a form of copyright without first receiving his consent. So Nike ran with the claw.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's suing Nike for that right now. Just put out in the news not too long ago.
Wow.
So we'll see what's up with that. Of course, he's
Over a logo?
Yeah. I mean, hey,
I was gonna say Jordan, but Jordan's
if
purchased by Nike.
some kind of artist took your logo or whatever or your idea without
First
your
of all,
consent.
you haven't seen my new logo. I wish motherfucker would. Because it's like, how you gonna get away with that? How?
You can't be me.
You can't be me.
It ain't happening. So yeah, so
It ain't happening, Playboy.
that's what's going on right now with Kawhi. But once again, this has been a very entertaining final. I said before last week on the show, if no KD, I have the Raptors in 7 because they have home court. At first, you said gentleman's sweep, and I thought you were talking about Golden State going to win 4 in a row, but no, you were saying the Raptors going to win 4 in a row.
I wasn't even saying 4. I said they were just gonna win the 4. I feel like because
Okay,
I called Game 4 was gonna be the Golden State win, and that was gonna be the last game in the Oracle Arena.
Yeah.
But now I'm calling 7 games, man. This
right.
gonna come down to the wire.
And I believe Sadal had the Warriors winning in, I believe in 6. So, 6 or 5. So that's it right there, man.
What's funny is everybody's posting these pictures. It was like what New York wants, and it was KD, Kyrie, and Zion.
Yeah.
And then they had the bottom picture of Isaiah Thomas, Tobias Harris, and who's the third person? I can't remember, but it wasn't what they wanted. I was like, knowing New York, they're gonna find a way to mess that up.
Right. So going to and once again, for everyone watching the show, thank you on a Monday night.
We appreciate you.
about to wrap this up.
We
right
starting
now.
your week off right.
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 All right, here we go. Do you have any congrats you right?
No.
Is this your leader?
No.
Bro, you're tripping.
No. Because I feel like the Lakers are gonna make the playoffs next year. Because let's face it, LeBron ain't gonna get injured twice. Is this damn it. This ain't damn. I'm gonna knock on some wood before I leave.
Right there.
There we go.
All right. So for mine, you ain't gonna like this, but with him going through this injury and especially if they happen to win without him playing. KD is going to resign with Golden State.
Yeah, you tripping. And let me tell you why. Because if that was the case, then he wouldn't be a day to day. They wouldn't rule him out every game. If he was trying to, wait a minute, wait a minute. Well, nah. Well, he's got the hardware to the point where he doesn't have to play to prove anything. He's got the hardware, so he doesn't have to play to prove it. So he can just relax, and then just sign with another team next year. So yeah, you tripping.
Okay.
He gonna be gone. He gonna be on the East Coast.
East Coast, baby. Real quick. Finally, some common sense from Goodell. He wants to limit preseason games. Maybe 2 games. I think that's a great idea. Why have 4?
I don't get preseason games. Period.
See? So
What's it for?
You saying nothing at all.
What's it for? Like they were talking about it yesterday on the Atlanta news channel. They were talking about getting rid of the voluntary OTAs, which I think is a waste because no one shows up for it because they're voluntary.
Right.
Like Julio Jones hasn't showed up for the Atlanta one. That's the only one I know of because I was in Atlanta and they were talking about it. So Julio Jones hasn't showed up. One of their defensive players hasn't shown up. And they were talking about how Julio Jones has this extensive workout that he does in the offseason that works out for him great. So I'm like, I really don't see the point. And then the reporter said, if y'all can't get the playbook with 3 months left before the season, you shouldn't be on the team.
That's a problem.
I was like, oh, well.
All right. So, you have an idiot of the week?
I
know it was last moment in regards to this show, so you may not have.
I don't. The week just started.
Right.
I feel like the idiot is going to emerge like right after the show. Be like,
Here we
there
go.
he is.
You're going to post it throughout the week.
Like, there he is.
You're going to have slash stand. All right, so the St. Louis Post-Dispatch over the last few weeks,
Oh, dear.
and this is a local paper here, of course.
Oh, dear.
Our main paper, our main
dear.
source for entertainment in regards to sports, all that good stuff.
What they do? Because they done had an issue before.
Yeah, so they have recently fired a lot of their journalists and staff, and they had a post yesterday after the Cardinals beat the Cubs, swept the Cubs.
Swept them.
Swept the Cubs. And I'm going to read this post. I believe it was from Facebook.
Ooh, I'm scared.
Here we go.
Scared.
And it says, the sweep, after a victory in the finale of a series in Philadelphia, gives the Cardinals a winning streak of 4 games on the heels of a disastrous stretch of 16 losses in 22 games when the most agitated fans, here we go, wanted to lynch at least half the roster.
That's ooh-wee.
Very interesting choice of words right there.
Very interesting choice of words.
And especially when we have a few.
Have a few of. Well, technically one. Technically, we got one. And to be honest,
No, 2. Jordan.
don't nobody hate him. Everybody love him. Everybody love him. He come in, pew pew pew.
But I'm saying technically in regards to the brother side.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, technically two. One of which we have,
Excuse me.
and then the other one who we've all collectively on this show said we can get on up out of here. So I understand the sentiment.
But damn.
Phrasing. Phrasing.
Using that word.
We ain't even 6 months away from Black History Month. And y'all tripping like this?
Post-Dispatch.
Woo-wee.
Y'all are.
Who wrote that? You got the name of the person?
No.
Because they probably about to get fired next.
Right. But and what's crazy is that, like I said, it happened so early.
And it ain't like I could say, well, let me go look at it. It comes out every day. This ain't the St. Louis American. I can't just go find the week paper. Like, who said?
But the whole thing is that it's on Facebook, so you can easily go to edit and just change the word, take the word out, whatever. But you still kept it on there for that time frame. It was on there for 2 hours. At the time I pulled this up,
Did they change
it
it?
was already on there for 2 hours.
Did they change it?
I haven't checked since then.
Oh,
but
Lord.
2 hours and no one say, you know what? That doesn't look good.
Nobody said nothing.
So normally, well, no, you are usually one of my biggest sources. Don't lose a fan over this, yo. It ain't worth it.
That's why I stick to ESPN and Bleacher Report. I deleted every other sports app on my phone. I just got ESPN, Bleacher Report, and WWE.
Yeah. So with that being said, you are the idiot of the week.
Hey, man. Y'all really did play yourselves. Like, for real. So get the phrasing right, and also get your head out your ass.
Everyone on the line. No, let me stop. But got some new fools, man, for that.
Stop. Get some help. Matter of fact, get some black friends. That sounds like somebody that ain't got no black friends.
Because obviously they wouldn't approve that.
What all the comedians say, white people get you some black friends. They'll save you.
Right. You have a what if?
What if in a weird 3-team trade, the Lakers, because it's been circulating.
Sorry, I have an update. The score is tied at 1 between Blues and Boston.
Oh, dang. It's still the first period?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, sorry.
What if somehow Lonzo gets shifted to Chicago? Me, personally,
You'll like that, wouldn't you?
I don't know. So he's a good player, but he the injuries.
Yeah, that's a problem.
It's like I don't want to give up something.
And then put all your eggs in the basket for someone who's injury plagued.
Oh, hell no. We ain't putting all our eggs in the basket. Levine ain't going nowhere. Markkanen ain't going nowhere. Otto Porter ain't going nowhere. Who else?
So far, 2 out of 3 guys that you named are injury prone guys.
That's cool. But when that's cool. Let's stick with 2. We don't need another one.
That's like, how Roger Saffold was with the Rams.
Hey, man, I'm glad he gone. Because that brother couldn't defend nothing.
Stayed injury.
And then what was the name? Blythe. That guard, Andrew Blythe, is he gone? He need to get out of here.
I'm going to check on
He
that.
needs to go.
I'm going to check on that.
The most crucial game of your career. You need to go, bruh.
Yeah, so.
That boy got lit up like a Christmas tree.
But yeah, it'll be interesting.
Carved up like a Christmas ham.
It'll be interesting if Lonzo, if he goes to the Bulls, but you have to stay healthy. It also depends on, because they don't have they have an okay pick, but it's not like a top 5 pick in the draft.
We're number 7.
Yeah.
And I'm pissed still.
To this day.
How y'all do us like that? I was like, there's number 10, there's number 9, there's number 8, and F all of this.
So my what if is, what if Roman Reigns pulled a big change of heart and the WWE loses its cash cow because he wants to go to AEW?
Okay, I have to look at this from 2 standpoints. I have to look at this from a personal standpoint for Roman Reigns. He just got through with a battle with leukemia. WWE, their insurance isn't that good. Matter of fact, I don't think they have it. So I'm not sure how he paid those bills off, if he paid those bills off, if he's still paying those bills. But with AEW, he wouldn't have to worry about that. But at the same time, I don't know what they gonna name that dude when he goes to AEW.
It'd be Joseph Benoit.
I don't know what they gonna do.
He'll come up with something. But that is our show, man.
That's it.
That is it, man. So
We gone.
appreciate
Stick a fork in
y'all.
it. We're done.
That's a wrap. This is the Platform Sports Talk Show on a Monday night. We won't be live Wednesday. Of course, we'll still have some posts here and there.
So when you look for us on Wednesday,
Just watch the show again.
just watch the show again.
That's it. Enjoy it.
That's all you got to do.
That's all.
We'll be here.
And we'll be back the following Wednesday.
Yes, we will.
It'll be all 3 of us.
All 3 of y'all.
And hopefully by that time, we'll be celebrating something big or about something big, hopefully happening with our beloved Blues. So with that being said, I am your boy, Smooth.
And I am Stanton, baby.
And Sadal, do your thing, bro. The investor, do your thing. When it's about sports,
It becomes our business. And business just picked up.
we out.
Let's go, Blues.